Again, it's a rich thing.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to this tutorial. In today's video we're going to learn how to build a simple FTP client in Python, so let us get right into it. Alright, so FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, which means of course that we can transfer files via this protocol. We can upload files, we can download files from to an FTP server, and in order to do this in Python we need to import the FTP library, so FTP lib, which is part of the core Python stack, so we don't need to install anything here. And what we need to do here is we need to connect to a server, so we need to have an FTP server already. It can be running locally, it can be running in the web somewhere, and then we're going to connect to that server, and then we're going to upload files or download files from our FTP server. And this can be very useful if we choose FTP for our backups, for example. So let's say you have a certain amount of, or a certain collection of directories that you would like to back up on your computer on a regular basis, maybe weekly, maybe monthly, maybe daily. You want to have some backups, and you want to build your own Python script to do those backups. And maybe I'm going to make a video on that in the future. But essentially what you would be doing then is you would create a script here, and you would just, say, okay, exclude this file, include this file, look for changes and so on. And then you would need something that uploads the files or downloads the files, depending on what you're trying to do. And of course you can use a cloud for that, or you can use an FTP server for that. And this is what we're going to do in today's video. We're going to talk about how we can connect to an FTP server. As I said, we need to already have that FTP server. In my case, I have one already. And I'm going to also show you all the credentials here because it's not really an important server. I just made it for free, and you can do so as well. So we're going to open up an FTP client here to see how it works if we already have one, if we already have a working FTP client. So I'm going to connect to video FTP tut, so tutorial.bplaced.net, and I'm going to show you in a second how you can also build your own or get your own FTP server for free. They offer a very good package there. And the user is video FTP tut, and the password, I'm going to change this after the video, is neural123. So we quick connect, and we have to accept this, and there you go. So we have a bunch of different files here. Most of them I have already created here. I'm going to delete those. And here I can now go ahead and upload files, create files, download files, and so on. So this is the server. And we're going to build a Python script that can do that as well. Of course, we're not going to build this full program here, but we're going to build the connection, and we're going to be able to download and upload from to that server. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a couple of variables, and the first one is going to be the host. The host is video FTP tut.bplaced.net. In my case, in your case, it's something else, so input that. And then we are going to have, let me just copy this here. We're going to have user as well, and the user is going to be, in my case, video FTP tut. And we're going to also have a password, and the password is going to be neural123 in this case. Now, of course, you should never store your password in clear text. Always load it from a file, encrypt it or something like that, or let the user input it at runtime. In this case, I'm just going to do it like that for demonstrational purposes. And I'm going to change that password afterwards anyway, so no problem there. And once you have that, you can open up a connection. But for this, we need to change one thing. We need to change this here. We need to say from FTP lib import FTP actually, and not just import FTP lib. So from FTP lib import FTP, and then we say with FTP host. So with this FTP connection, which means that it's going to be closed automatically as FTP in lowercase, we're just going to log into that FTP server. So ftp.login, and the user that we're going to use for the login is going to be the user, and the password is going to be the password. And in order to confirm that this worked, we can go ahead and print a welcome message. So we can say print ftp.getWelcome. So when we run this here, let's see what happens. 220, welcome to bplaced FTP. So we got a welcome message here, and this means that we're now connected and we can start downloading or uploading files. All right, since we're now connected to the server, we can actually download some files already, but the problem is that we don't have any files on the server yet. So we're going to log in with FileZilla again, and we're going to create some files here. So we're going to say, I don't know, mytest.txt. and we're going to open up that file, and we're going to put some text in there like hello world, this is just a neural 9 YouTube tutorial, like that. We can save this, we can close this, we can upload this. And now we have a file on the FTP server, which we can download with Python. So for this, we need to open up a stream first. So we need to open up a file stream. We're going to say with open. And for the local file name, we can choose whatever we like. So we can say, what is this here? We can say something like test.txt as well. It doesn't have to be my test.txt. It can be whatever we want it to be. And then we're going to open this up in writing binary mode as F4 file. And once we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to call the FTP function, which is called retrieve binary, which means we're going to get a binary stream, a binary file from the server. And for this, we need a command. We need a string that is a command, an FTP command. And for this, we're going to have to just say retr, and then we're going to add the file name. So we request this particular file name, and in this case, it's going to be my test.txt, like that. And the whole thing is going to be written to, or forwarded to f.write, so to the write function. We're not going to call it, we're going to refer to it like that, and we're going to retrieve 1024 bytes, like that. In the end, we're going to say ftp.quit, even though I'm not quite sure if we even need that when we're using with, but we're going to do it like that. Oh, sorry. Come on. And we're going to run this to see what happens. So as you can see, we got the welcome, then the script terminated, and now we have a test.txt file. And you can see that this test.txt file has the text that we just entered on the server. Now we can also go ahead and do the same thing for the upload. So we're going to delete that here, and we're going to upload a file to the FTP server. And for this, of course, we need to create one locally first. So we're going to say file, and we're going to call this myupload.txt. And in here, we're going to say hello world. This file was created locally, like that. And once we have that, what we're going to do is we're just going to open up another file stream. So we're going to say with open myupload.txt in reading binary mode, SF. What we're going to do is we're going to read from that file, and we're going to upload it to the FTP server. And for this, we're going to call a different function. We're going to call ftp.storeBinary. And we're going to execute a different command here, stor plus the file name that we want it to have remotely. So we can choose one file name that we choose locally, and then we can name it in a different way remotely. So we don't have to call this myupload.txt here. So let's just call this upload.txt here without the my. And we're going to take f as a source for that upload. So that's actually all we need to do here. We can go ahead, save this, and run this. And it's done, as you can see. And if we check in FileZilla and we refresh here, you can see that we have an upload.txt file here. And if we view this file, you can see hello world, this file was created locally. Now, one thing that's also important is learning how to download files which are not in the main directory. So let's say we have not a file like this here, but let's say we have another directory, which we call my dear, and then we have a file in here. So not another directory, another file. So we say other file.txt, for example, and in here we're going to say view edit. I am in a different directory, like that. So this file, we cannot just download it by saying other file.txt. And sometimes it's also not the best solution to just, enter the whole path like slash and slash and slash and so on. But sometimes you actually want to navigate through the FTP server. And for this, we can use the command FTP, or the function FTP cwd. So this changes the directory. And you would just have to specify a directory name. In this case, we're going to, what did I call it? My dear, did I call it my directory? Like that. And then with open, we're going to just do a basic writing again. With open, what is this thing here? With open my special file.txt in writing binary. mode SF, we're just going to say again ftp.retrieve binary, and we're going to say retrieve plus the file name is actually called, what did I call it? Otherfile.txt. f.write is the function to look at, and we're going to write that many bytes. So this should be it, and we should now be able to also download that file. So as you can see, we get that file and it works. If I remove that line though, so if I remove that statement here, actually doesn't work. So let's delete this file first. If I now run the script, it's not going to work. We're going to get an error, 550 can't open otherfile.txt, no such file or directory, because there is no file otherfile.txt in the main directory. All right, so last but not least, I want to quickly show you how I created my free FTP server. Now, this is a German website, so don't be confused. You're probably not going to understand all of that text if you're not German or if you don't speak German. And this is also not the only possibility. This is just the one I use because I know this site for quite some while already. The basic idea is that you go to this website, you say freestyle, so this is a free version. You get 1 GB of space, 2 databases. We don't even need that. And we have access with FTP, €0, $0, whatever. You can sign up for that. You can just enter some information here. And once you are in the back panel, we're going to do some settings there. So let's jump into that. All right, so this is what the backend looks like. In this case, of course, it's not too different from any other hosting websites or something. So for example, I also have neural9.com, and there I also have FTP, and the backend is not too different there. So the basic thing that you need to do is you need to look at FTP or for FTP, wherever you are, whatever your provider is, you just look for an FTP option. And if you have that FTP option, you can create a username here. So for example, video FTP tut underline, I don't know, random or something, and then you can create that account. You get video ftp.random. I can choose a password here. For example, I can choose video tutorial 123, and I can create the account. And then what we get is we get an enabled account, and we can log in with that account. That's basically what you need to do, and then you have your FTP server up and running. So that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed and hope you learned something. If so, let me know by hitting a like button and leaving a comment in the comment section down below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to not miss a single future video for free. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video, and bye.